Hey guys, what's going on? Banana156 here. Welcome to another video. Remember to like, dislike, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Remember, I do read all comments and I appreciate all the engagement that I can get. But yeah, so in this video I'll be going over why I am a socialist. And in hindsight, I should have made this video first. But you know, we're making it now. But yeah, so why am I a socialist? Well, first, it comes down to my philosophy. So, you have axioms, I think that's what they're called, but they're like core beliefs and core values that you have. And one of my main core values is that we should maximize the happiness of as many people as possible in our society. And now, I base all my other positions off of that, because I want people to be as happy as possible, you know? So, and then I base everything off of that. So, like the reason I think socialism is the best way to achieve that goal, I'll go over here. But yeah. So, first of all, let's go over why I don't think our current system is good enough. Because in our current system, at least in the U.S., I'm going to be speaking mainly about the U.S., so I just want to let you guys know that in case I say something that's not true for other Western countries. But currently in the U.S., it's like the democracy is not as good as it needs to be. Because of capitalism and the increased wealth gap, and the unequal distribution of wealth, it leads to the top 1% being able to buy most elections, or if not all of them. And then that holds the politicians hostage because the 1% donated them so much money, the politicians have to vote the way their donors told them to because of how much money they gave them. That's why I like Bernie, because he took only like donations from normal people and just small donations like that. But so there you can see, so our democracy really means nothing. It's just corporate guy in a blue tie versus corporate guy in a red tie. Just one's fascist and one's a liberal. That's like so it's either gonna stay the same or it's gonna get worse. Like, and it's already getting bad. Like even with the Democrats winning consistently, if like the Republicans just faded into irrelevance, but then only liberals were there, it would still continue to get worse because they're still loyal to the capitalist system. They're still loyal to their donors, so they won't do enough to change it. Now I'm going to go over this in my next video about the Democratic Party, so I don't want to go too in depth with it, but that's why I don't like the Democratic Party very much. I think they are necessary right now, but I would like for them, or I wouldn't like for them to be replaced. I would like the Republicans to be replaced with the Socialist Party, but yeah. But now, capitalism, we're in late stage capitalism, and the wealth distribution is the worst it's ever been in history, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not, but I know it's worse than France pre-revolution. So the top has all of this money, and the bottom has nothing. Like the top 1% has more money than the bottom, like 3.6 billion people. It's just like, that's just obscene, isn't it? So how do we fix that? And I know that's the reason for most of the struggles. Because of slavery and because of things like that, that leads to marginalized group like black people being just oppressed consistently, because our economic system does not allow them to move up at all. Because there was a study I read, and there's stickiness on the rungs of the economic ladder. Once you are in the quintile that you're in, you're most likely to stay there or move down if you're a minority. That's how it works. So yeah, so capitalism doesn't lift people up, it lifts the top up while bringing the bottom down. It's inherently exploitative, and currently we're heading towards potentially the largest depression our country has seen, which is kind of scary, but you know, that's what happens when a pandemic happens and capitalism is on its last legs, or I wouldn't say it's its last legs, but a recession is coming. But yeah, and that will just lead to them losing more money. the bottom 3 quintiles will lose more money. The bottom 4 quintiles even, like, they will lose money, and they're already in a bad spot now because the top 1% has more money than all of them combined. So how do we fix that? How do we make more people happy? How do we fix the stickiness on the rungs of the economic ladder? How do we fix the unequal wealth distribution? Well, I believe the answer to that is socialism. Because what are the two main components of socialism? Collective owns in the means of production, and the abolishment of private property. Now, how would that help? So, collective owns in the means of production. I would do this through democracy in the workplace, and I am going to make a video on worker co-op soon, so I won't go too in depth on it. But workplace, if the proletariat owns the means of production through democratic means of the workplace, that means that the profits will be equally distributed to the workforce, and the workforce will be treated better. They will get more benefits. It will just be better. And if you look at worker co-op studies, the conditions are amazingly better than most normal companies. So that's why we need democracy at the workplace, because it allows the workers to get paid what they're worth. It doesn't make the focus the CEO. It makes the focus the labor, and the labor is what creates the value there. Because a company can function without a CEO, and worker co-ops have proved that. So that's how we somewhat solve the the unequal wealth distribution through that. Not only that, we need to. I'm a market socialist, so I do think markets should be the main force for luxury items and things like that. But things that aren't made for markets, like inelastic markets, or things that are rights, shouldn't have markets. Like, for example, healthcare. That should not be a market-based system. It doesn't work. It's less efficient. For all of you libertarians who say, "Oh, positive rights bad," or stuff like that, it's less efficient. It doesn't work, and we spend the most on healthcare, yet we have the worst healthcare in the Western world. We can't be having that. So we need to have a socialized Medicare system, a socialized healthcare system, and we need to offer really great healthcare. Like France has a really good healthcare system. We need to offer healthcare like France does. And the other inelastic market I want to talk about is transportation. I honestly think cars were a really bad thing because it led to a lot of pollution, and it led to desocialization and isolation. But yeah, we need a strong transportation, a strong public transportation. We need I know most other Western nations have really strong transportation networks. Like, they have strong trains, they have really good trains, they have great buses, they have great everything. Our transportation system, even in the biggest of cities, is absolutely terrible. It's garbage. So we need to improve the transportation system, and more funding needs to go into that and other infrastructure related things. Like internet. I would say internet is a right because of the way the world is going, and the way the internet is necessary for almost everything. We need to make broadband, like in Joe Biden's infrastructure bill, nationwide broadband or whatever. We need to make that, and it needs to be free. It's a right. The internet is a right, or not free, but through taxes or whatever. The internet needs to be handled the same way as healthcare and transportation. Now, the other thing, which I don't think is considered an inelastic market, but I think is a right, is housing. Now, this comes into the point of abolishing private property. Now, in this system, we wouldn't the house would still be yours, but you don't have to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So, we need to decommodify housing and property and stuff like that. Housing is a right, and I feel like that would help a lot with with current generations. Like right now, most millennials can't buy a car or buy a house because of the stickiness on the rungs of the economic ladder and unequal wealth distribution. If we do these things, this will fix unequal wealth distribution. It will fix that. It will fix stickiness on the rungs of the economic ladder, and it will give them a house to stay. It will give everyone a house, and we can do this. We have the resources for it. So yeah, we need to abolish markets where markets don't need to be. But I do think markets should be for things like luxury items, like, I don't know, just off the top of my head, like Jordans or stuff like that, luxury items. But yeah, so how would now this I feel is the best way to maximize happiness, because if you fix unequal wealth distribution, if you fix stickiness on the rungs of the economic ladder, so people can get money, and not only that, but move up. But not really move up. I want there to be I think that we should eliminate classes as much as possible so everyone is on as equal of a playing ground as possible. But if we fix unequal wealth distribution, so like all the money that's concentrated in the top 1% went all the way down to everyone in the bottom, like at least in America. I'm just talking about the US currently. But if all of that money at the top 1% went down, that would be great, and then that would lead to decreased poverty. That would essentially eliminate eliminate poverty here. And if it did across, if we took the richest people in the U.S. and redistribute their wealth equally across everyone, I think that would eliminate poverty everywhere else. Like if we took even just Elon Musk's and Jeff Bezos' money, I feel like if we just took that and equally redistributed it across the world, we'd all be fine. There would be no poverty anymore. But yeah, so we need to. That's why I'm a socialist. I believe it can maximize happiness of as many people as possible. And our current system doesn't do that. It's a hierarchical system which oppresses the people at the bottom significantly. Now another reason, this is just kind of a side tangent, but if we're a socialist country, or if we're a socialist country, we're going to have higher taxes, and that means that people like Warren Buffett and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk won't be paying like 0.01% of their income in taxes. That won't happen anymore. Elon Musk will be being taxed 95% or whatever. Billionaires shouldn't exist, and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all the other guys should not have billions and billions and billions of dollars. They will be taxed in the high 90s%, and all of that money will go to more infrastructure, to better schools, to houses, to transportation, to all of this, to food, to water. Food and water are rights too. You should be able to go down to your local store or whatever and just show up, and they'll give you your weekly food or whatever, and then you can buy more food if you want. That's what needs to happen. And we need to eliminate classes. And I know this is far down the road than like the other stuff, because I know if we went to socialism now, there would still be classes, and but at least you could move up the classes. And eventually I want everyone to just be on the same playing field and have equal opportunity to go wherever they want, to be whatever they want to be, and pursue their passions without fear of coercion, like into working 3 jobs for minimum wage because you got to feed your family or whatever. You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't be forced to do anything. And that's the goal. I feel like that's the best way we can achieve happiness, is by giving people as much freedom as possible. And the only way we can do that is to take away the way capitalism coerces you into working all these jobs for starvation wages and not getting paid what you're worth. Sure, yeah, people will still work for jobs, but they shouldn't be working like 40 hours. They shouldn't be working like 14-hour work days, or not 14, 12-hour work days, and getting paid a fraction of the value that they brought into the company. The only way we can maximize happiness is to maximize freedom and allow people to pursue their passions in the freest way possible. And I think socialism is the system that best achieves that, and I hope I made my points as clear as possible in this video. But yeah, that's why I'm a socialist. Thank you all for watching. I really enjoyed making this video. I really enjoy just talking about this because I don't really talk about it that much, because, you know, I don't want to get in arguments with people that I like, because you don't want to lose a friend over politics. But I really just enjoy making these videos, and I just want to say thank you for the people that do watch them. And yeah, remember to like, subscribe, like, dislike, comment, do all that stuff. And thank you guys again for watching my videos and doing all that stuff. But yeah, that's why I'm a socialist, and I guess I'll see you guys